Hi, and welcome to Peter's Yachts and Yachting. Thank you for joining us. The aim basically here is going to be exploring different parts of sailing and the wonderful world of getting out on the water. I'd like to sort of include instructional videos as we go, and I hope that those people who are just starting out sailing for the first time will get some benefit from it. So as we go through, we'll talk about the various skills in sailing, and also look behind some of the tactics and finer points of getting your boat to do what you want it to do and to get the most enjoyment out of your day out on the fantastic water. Okay, so please subscribe, because we'll be continuing to add videos as we go along, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, thank you for coming.
Yachts, yachts, yachts. They come in so many shapes and sizes and so many purposes, whether it's for racing, whether it's for cruising. Wherever you go in the world, you'll find a stretch of water or a piece of sea, and somebody out there with a sail up will be enjoying it. The tranquility of being out in the elements, on the water, capturing the breeze is something that has to be experienced. Or the exhilaration of racing, harnessing the wind and getting the most out of your boat and matching your skills against others. It is an experience not to be compared with anything else. So I hope you'll journey with us while we look at various yachts and talk about the various bits and pieces that make them go.
Sailing in calm weather can often be more of a challenge than sailing in heavy weather. Okay, really heavy weather, that is a challenge, obviously. But on calm days like this, where there's very little wind to be had, you can listen to the familiar creaking of the rigging, and you gotta love those powerboats when they go past and give you some waves that just flap what little wind you've got out of the sails. The trick, basically, on a calm day is to look for those ripples on the water, little dark patches, which are known as cat's paws, wind shifts, and basically read them. You can see the wind coming towards you and be ready for it. Often those shifts may go in slightly different directions, so some may be of benefit to you and others may actually work against you. The trick is to read them as they come and basically have your sails and your boat pointed in the right direction. You can see there's some slightly darker patches just up in the distance coming towards us, and I can already start to feel a little bit of a breeze on my face as they come closer. So basically those are the ones that are going to help you get in the direction that you want to go, and you can basically see what direction they travel across the water, which will give you a good indication on where you expect your boat to be pointing to take the most benefit from that wind shift that's coming. So here we can see the ripples now are much closer, and they're actually on us now, and we're starting to feel the benefit from that. And if we look back, we can basically see that there is a little bit of a wake behind the boat, that smooth water that tells us that we're moving along. Those eddies and stuff that can sort of give us an idea of what speed we're going through the water. Okay, it's also nice when you start hearing a bit of shushing under the bow. It makes you know that you are actually doing some sailing on even a calm day. Okay, so here we go now. We're basically getting the benefit from this, and there is more coming up ahead of us. So good news, the wind is starting to come. So as we can see on the water here, you can see the calm and the rippled patches, so you can basically tell where the wind is and the wind is not so much. The other thing to be aware of too is, like the sun casting shadows from objects, the wind is affected the same way by headlands, tall buildings, any other obstruction basically that can lead to you being becalmed, even if there is a reasonable amount of wind around the place. So this point here, for example, sticks out into the bay, and if I sail closer to it, essentially I'd find myself becalmed or getting very fluky winds coming from all over the place as the wind basically becomes turbulent after passing over the land, through the trees, around the buildings, what have you. So all these things need to be taken into consideration basically when trying to find the best wind patches. Fine when you're cruising, not such a problem. Obviously if you're racing, it becomes critical, because you want to be the one who gets the most benefit from any wind event that comes. Obviously, the trick, particularly on a calm day, is to keep your sails in the right aerodynamic shape. So they work like an airfoil, and we can talk about that in another presentation. But essentially, if the sails are flapping all over the place, they're doing nothing for you. So sometimes you need to sit on the leeward or downwind side of the boat to make your boat tip away from the wind and keep your sails in the aerofoil shape. So when the wind does come, you're basically ready to take advantage of that push that comes.